Welcome to Sing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and we're here to celebrate, as we promised, the big dub over number 15 Baylor tonight, 87-56. Emphasis on big. We thought it was gonna be a close game. I think everybody did, but we did say, hey, if we want to cook, let us cook. And boy, howdy, 31-point win. First sweep of Baylor since the 2003-2004 season, a date that Gerlich knew by heart, because I was just saying in the press conference, like, early 2000s, she said 2003, 2004. She corrected me. I was like, all right. She knew it by heart. Of course she would. As she said in the press conference, this used to be the norm around here. So she's, I think, a little bit feisty about it. She still has that rivalry in her blood. So she's happy to get it back. But we're going to run through that whole game. Historic stuff. Like, we went from not beating Baylor to now beating them twice. Second worst defeat in the Nikki Collin era. They got their people calling for a job, which is a little bit crazy, but that's Baylor fans for you. Just pure domination from start to finish. I don't think we ever trailed in this game. We scored our first couple points, and then soon enough we had a double-digit lead, and it felt like we never didn't have a double-digit lead in this, Tyler. So anyway, we're going to break down this whole game. We also have softball is in California for Mary Nutter. Schedule is what it is. They do play the Olympic champs, Team Japan, and of course we will cover men's basketball and JT Toppin. Prayers up for him. Hate that for him. But before we get into the sad, Tyler, you were there. I was there. Vibes were high. Did you get to see much of this drubbing?
Oh, I saw like almost all of the drubbing. I could not believe that we 31-pieced number 15 Baylor.
Stunned.
I mean, like, this is the Baylor team that all these analysts are like, oh yeah, like they're going to be hosting, they're a top 4 seed, like all these things. And I was just like, I mean, there were reporters that were like, yeah, like that game that y'all played against them, like there should be an asterisk. It was like a fluke the entire time. They didn't have Talia Scott, all these things. And I had been saying,
say your name.
We had all been saying, yeah, Talia Goodman, shout out to you. Cause I had been saying, and we had all been saying, that
she was real quick with that Oklahoma State final score. Did she
quick.
ever post a final score from this one?
No,
it's fine.
never.
Haters gonna hate.
Never. I was like, look, like the leading scorer the last time was Yu Ting Dong, all right? But here's the thing. When you have Talia Scott in there, Danae Fritz is not going to let Talia Scott reach her season average or whatever it was. And what happened tonight? Danae Fritz locked down on Talia Scott. Talia Scott only had 13 points, and Baylor ended up getting 31-piece by it. Just an absolute drubbing. I mean, just absolute drubbing. And they had their best players. So there's no excuses this time. As a matter of fact, it actually got worse since the last time we played them in Waco for them. And I mean, you just have to kind of sit there and it's just funny. Like, you just laugh. Like, you're just like, okay, if you don't understand how basketball works, or if you don't want to go and pay attention into every single team in the Big 12, like, just don't. I'm just like, just don't talk about like these teams in the Big 12 like you know them when you really don't know them that well. Like, we knew that this was an evenly matched game. We talked about it and everything. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect us to 30-piece them, but by any means. But I also knew that we had more of a fighting chance, even with or without their best player in Talia Scott. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, at the end of the day, like, you just gotta know your ball and just know that, this Texas Tech team, they came off of a really bad game against Oklahoma State, which wasn't really even that bad if you take out that second quarter, and that they were gonna fight and they were gonna respond well at home, and that's what they did tonight.
Absolutely, they did. You just have to know ball. Yeah, like I thought we were gonna win this game. But I thought it was going to be, I was like, maybe 10 points or something if we're hitting threes. But certainly we were hitting threes. And we just couldn't miss. And Baylor just has this tendency to get really lackadaisical on their closeouts with threes. And it got them against TCU. And they do this, I don't know if the sagging off like is getting in their heads. I don't know. But their closeouts are just like, they don't even put a hand up. It's like they run at people and then forget to put the hand up. Mm-hmm. And which is wild because they're third in the nation in 3-point field goal percentage coming in this game. They held people to 25% shooting from three. Not in this game. I mean, what did we finish with from three?
8 for 21.
21. So we had 7 of those in the first half, so we definitely cooled off in the second half, and then we still kept our lead and extended our lead even. We were up by 20 at halftime. We finished up by 31, so we were plus 11 in the second half without hitting three. So we did it both ways. And they kind of ruined this stat at the end of the game because Bailey and Snudda decided to score like the final 12 points of the game for a while there, it felt like. But about midway through the fourth quarter, Bailey, Snudda, and Hema had only combined for 5 points in the second half of the game after combining for 38 of the 48 in the first half because Baylor made some adjustments, and that's cool. But we still extended the lead by 11 points. This was our best game, top to bottom roster, start to finish of the season. And I asked Gerlich after the game, and I was sure to say, yeah, I don't want to say the ceiling because obviously the season's not over, but is this what you envisioned when you put them together? And she has a great answer. You can go watch that for sure. But she said, yeah, this is what they're capable of. And her opening statement that we'll show in a minute kind of spoke to that everyone seems like, which is just a great coaching move and motivational move as well, is instead of getting angry after the Oklahoma State loss, she was sure to make sure that they knew nobody's mad at you. She said that in the press conference, and I love this. Nobody's mad at you for this loss. And I think that's important because it can feel really heavy, this whole thing that they're trying to do here. We've talked about it before, trying to break the curse, if you will, and which is absolutely broken. This team's going to the tournament now. There's no question. All those things, and it can feel heavy at times. And she was sure to say that, and that she just talked with each of them this week about what is your role on this team? What do you do well? What do we do well as a team? Get back to doing that. Let's play us. Because they didn't feel like they played like them in Oklahoma State. And I love to hear that. I hope that means next time we play them, we'll be able to handle them and do what we do. I think it's just a bit of a tough matchup. I said that, but also we didn't play great. We were not rotating well. And tonight, again, a much better matchup for how we play defense. But if we played like this against Oklahoma State, we would have beaten them too. We were flying everywhere. Hema was cooking fools. Gerlich told a great story about Hema. The press conference was phenomenal. Go watch the whole thing.
It was great. I loved it.
I could clip the whole thing, and I might just post 10 clips tomorrow. Y'all just prepare yourself on Instagram. But she talked about Hema and the story about Hema, how at Oklahoma State, Hema had 9 points or 10 points, 8 points maybe against OK State. But apparently they were sagging off at her and daring her to shoot, and she was taking shots. And Gerlich at one point got onto her, apparently in the Oklahoma State game, and said, stop shooting. They want you to do that. Stop doing it. And so tonight, Hema was cooking. She had 10 points in the first half. And Gerlich said jokingly, she's like, at one point, I kind of wish that she would have, every time she scored a basket tonight, she would have turned and winked at me. She's like, Hema wouldn't do that, but she's like, I kind of wish she would have, after I told her to stop shooting, and she did that. And I caught the end of the Nikki Collins press conference because, boy, she was in that press room before the game.
Yeah.
The broadcast was still going, and they were in there on the bus. They were probably on the bus back at the airport before Gerlich even finished her press conference. It was crazy. And she talked about Hema just carving them up, and Sarah, and it was a top to bottom effort. I got off on a diatribe as always, but Sarah and Adley and Hema were great, and Jalen was really solid in the second half, and Danae, we'll probably have a story about her in a minute from the press conference, which was great as well. Mimi Sonogo maybe didn't have a huge moment in this game, but we got a story on why she was a massive part of this win coming up that me and Tyler both have different notes on that we'll get into. Everybody contributed to this win, and this really is who this team can be at their best. And it did feel like maybe they weren't playing their best basketball. I think Gerlich said that after the Oklahoma State game, is we're not playing our best basketball right now, but we're just tired and all these things. And Bailey said after the game, someone asked her what word would you use to define this game, and she said mental toughness. And that stuck out to me because before the game, Coach Walters on the radio show was talking about what being tough means. And he said it means pushing through things when you're tired and doing it anyway. He's like, it's not physical toughness all the time. It's about the mental toughness. So it was clear that stuff, because they did look a little tired at Oklahoma State and they were doing silly stuff. And they just completely bought in. To see a team be able to do that this late in the season is a credit to this. We said that last week. They want to be great. They want to do all these things. We had no concerns that they were going to bounce back. But 31 points, Tyler? I mean, just insane. Here, let's just show you Gerlich's opener, because we got one from Bailey and Sarah. Shout out Sarah. She got to do the press conference. I loved it. as well. And then we'll show you the highlights and talk more about it because we could yap about this forever, and we probably will. So settle in, grab some coffee if you're watching this in the morning, and enjoy.
I'm a little speechless, to be honest, just because I'm so proud. I'm trying not to get too emotional with this because we came back from Oklahoma State, and, you know, when we watched the film, it wasn't as terrible as we thought as far as how we played. The second quarter was terrible, but we won the other 3 quarters, but we had dug ourselves too big of a hole. And we came back and we really talked about our identity and who we are as a team and who they are individually and what they bring to this program and why they're here. And I don't think that I've ever had a team respond in such a positive manner for understanding why they're here and why we picked them to be here. You know, they each have such a special role, and they all are so incredibly valuable to this team and what we're doing. And I think that you saw tonight an incredible display of that and just how talented each individual is, but then what can happen when you put those individuals together and make a team, and a team that is selfless, a team that is driven, a team that is bought in, a team that understands their identity, and a team that is just trying to play each and every game as hard as they can and have as much as fun as they can together with a Lady Raider uniform on, because they really performed at a really high level tonight from start to finish. And I'm just super proud of them. And what a great win. What a great win for our program. What a great win for our fans. What a great sweep for Bailey Mop.
It's an honor to be a part of a team that can get things done like we've been getting things done, but also just to have all of our names in the same history book together is something that we'll cherish forever.
In the second half, everybody was doing everything else as Baylor adjusted. What do you see from your teammates like Sarah? Even Adley came in there, everybody in that second half.
I think it's more of a question, more of a statement of you guys see what I see every single day, because they do that every single day. Every single day in practice, every single day that we get out on the court, they're doing those things. And tonight they got their opportunity to do it in front of all of you guys, and I'm super grateful and happy that they got to show up and show out.
Bailey, from the get-go, you guys were relentless, focused. Any other good adjectives to go along with that?
Mental toughness.
Do you want to do that in French? What is relentless and focused in French?
Relentless is ne jamais abandonner, and focus is concentré.
Okay. And were you right from the get-go tonight in this game? What got you guys going?
Just the fun, playing for fun, playing with my teammate, knowing this is one of our last game here because we almost all senior on the team. Just really do it for each other, and because we know that's just what we do.
That's just what we do. I also loved my guy. That's a great guy. I'll tell that story, man. The guy that you heard talking there used to be the radio or TV broadcaster at West Texas A&M when Gerlich was the coach there, so he knows her really well, and he pops into some games here or there, and he's always great. I always try to get him to go first because I'm like, you're awesome, sir. But anyway, it's fine. Yeah, to get Sarah to speak a little French, and he's just like, okay. Because what else do you say to that? But Sarah was great in this game. She had 10.7 rebounds, 2 steals. Adley was huge. She came in and had that big 3, and the crowd went insane when she even entered the game, and then she hit a 3 right away, and then that got our team going every single time. I swear, someone needs to go track the stat. How many times have we had an Adley Blacklock 3 immediately followed by a steal or an almost steal moment? Like, it feels like at least 3 times, which is a lot considering like the amount that she plays. So instant energy. Again, Hema was massive throughout the game, and Jalen stepped up in the second half. Everybody did something. And a player that I do think got into the game, she got a rebound in this game late, was Mimi Sonogo, Sarah's sister. She doesn't play a lot on this team, but the complete vibes queen. And one of, let me see, Gerlich's quote after the game. She said, Julie and Mimi have bought into their roles on this team better than any players she has ever coached. Ever. Mm-hmm. And a great story came from this. about how she volunteered to be on the practice squad to imitate Little Paige Bugs, who leads the Big 12 in rebounding. And Tyler was actually at practice, so he has more insight into that. So tell the story you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, I got to catch a little bit at the end of practice on Monday, and yeah, Mimi was absolutely tearing it up, crashing the boards, was doing really great things in practice. And even after the game, Coach Jada Williams came up to her and was like, I thought you was Little Paige Bugs. Like, look at you, Mimi. Like, you were doing such a great job. Like, look at you crashing them boards. Like, I really thought you were her. Like, you were a great number, I think, whatever number she is, number 5. She's like, you were a great number 5 today. And it was just incredible to just see like how hard of a worker Mimi is and how well she really pushes the team and things like that. And I just love her attitude. Coach Grox has even talked about that earlier in the season. Like, Mimi is the first one that's like, Coach, if you put me in, like, I promise I'm going to score. If Coach, you put me in, like, I'm going to get that rebound. Or Coach, I'm ready for my 2 minutes. Like, just so powerful. Like, you know, she knows, okay, I'm not going to be playing the full 40, but like she's ready for her 2 minutes and she knows she's going to contribute something. And tonight she got that rebound. You know, she's been working on that in practice and really helped the team deal with, I mean, you have to realize, like, I even talked about it on the show, like Little Paige Bugs has been dropping like 20 rebounds on some teams, like in the Big 12 tonight. I mean, Little Paige Bugs only had, it looks like she only had, let's see, she only had 3 rebounds. 3 rebounds.
That's absurd.
And she averages a double-double.
I'm going to see when the last time she had that low of rebounds is. You keep talking and I'll find it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just
it's the lowest this year.
It has to be the lowest this year. I mean, she has absolutely been averaging a double-double every single game, has been getting 20 rebounds. So when you have players that are bought in and are really, you know, working hard enough to, you know, imitate that in the practice squad, then like you knew that games like Baylor were going to be good. And, you know, we even talked about how well we responded against Houston the second time we played them. And, you know, getting to play Baylor a second time, you know, just how impactful that was, even with or without Talia Scott, we still were able to play our best basketball and win by 31 points. So I just really thought the game plan was well executed. I thought that our players stepped up and they really worked hard in practice, especially coming off of kind of like a disappointing game on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. You have to go back to her freshman season against number 17 OU at the time. She played a whopping 10 minutes and she only got 1 rebound. There were a couple instances her sophomore year where she had 3 rebounds as well. But in the last 2 years, it's the lowest, and not only other game that beats it as the lowest ever was her freshman year when she played 10 minutes.
Wow.
So what happened here? Like, Mimi Sonogo was like a completely unsung hero of the team after you hear that backstory of it, because we didn't know why the team was able to control her, but that stuff is just so impressive, and I think those are the small stories. It's spoiler alert. It's in my recap. That's what the whole recap is about the whole of the team. I don't know when it posts. I can't control that, but it's written and it's somewhere in the regular sports ether. It'll be posted at some point tomorrow whenever it gets out there. But that's what it's about, and Mimi has a whole section in it because of that. Like, it's just such a cool story. And then when Tyler was telling me that before, I didn't even know that part of it. I just knew what Gerlich said. So just so impressed with this team and their buy-in. It's not easy to get this many players, especially seniors, that a lot of them are. Mimi doesn't play. She's a senior. Like, this is her last year, like, you know what I mean? And she's like all in because she has grasped something that a lot of people don't grasp until later in life, and that it's about the team aspect and it's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. And if they win a Big 12 championship, if they don't, doesn't matter. The fact that they're going to go to the tournament, Bailey Maupin talked about how special it is to be a part of this as a team, that they're all going to go in this together. Mimi Sonogo is a part of that. Mm-hmm. And she's a massive reason they won this game. If not one of the top reasons, right? Because of how she prepared this team in practice. And they needed that. I mean, maybe she needs to be on the practice squad every game because rebounding's been an issue. So maybe Mimi, saddle up and just be Little Paige Bugs in every single practice from here on out. So yeah, that was just a really cool story. And there's a lot of those in that press conference as well. And we talked about Danae Fritz holding down Talia Scott. Talia had 13 points, which is like 7 points or something below, maybe 9 points below her average. She's a top 5 scorer in the Big 12. We say this every week. Once again, Danae Fritz held someone below their average. Like, why she's not on the midseason watch list, I don't know. I kind of asked Gerlich about that after the game, but also because if you were noticing, And I didn't really even notice it myself. Someone like pointed it out to me, and I looked and caught the very end of it. But when Danae checked out of the game, her and Gerlich hugged, and they had a conversation right after she checked out. And I watched after that. I was like, oh, maybe she's doing it with all the seniors or whatever. But no, she didn't. She didn't even hug Bailey Maupin. Like, it was just Danae. And I was like, okay, probably because the Baylor thing. And so I was like, I ask and see if she wants to share what that moment was about. We'll probably post a clip about this, but obviously Danae played at Baylor. She previously played at Iowa State. Her time at Baylor, she got to play. She was big in some postseason moments defensively, but it didn't go how she wanted it to. And I think both parties would probably agree with that. We don't need to get into it. Last year, it took a while for her to get kind of like her confidence back, or whatever you want to call it. And this season, she's coming to her own. And Gerlich talks about how much, she believes in Danae Fritz and how close they are. And so it's a cool clip. And these things are just really cool. And it really is hard to play your former team. And that's why we don't really try to get too much into that on the show, because I understand how hard it is and emotional it is. But Gerlich talked about how, like, you can't ignore it. Like, it's hard to do these things, and everyone kind of talks about it, and it's there. And so for her to get this win, you could tell the whole team was happy for her after it, and everyone was kind of like surrounding her and hugging her. So those are cool moments. And it's not anything against Baylor. It's like, whatever. This is about our team. Like, it's about us. It's about her. It's about everybody kind of coming to their own. Sonata Collins, similar story to, Danae in a different way, where she kind of like fell out of love with basketball. If you listen to her talk about her time at Ole Miss, and just was like over it. And she's come back to Texas Tech, and she's found her love for basketball again, and has a coaching staff that believes in her. And 23 points tonight. There was WNBA scouts in attendance at this game tonight reportedly to watch, of course, Talia Scott for Baylor, but I was told it was to watch Bailey Maupin and Sonata Collins. That was what I was told yesterday when Indiana Fever scouts, I believe, and who else, if there's others here, probably so, they showed out. I do think Sonata Collins could play if her body holds up health-wise in the WNBA, and I never want to count Bailey out. Like, Bailey's just gotten so much better. She's become killer. Like, it's like her fourth 20-point game in a row or something. If not, maybe one with 19 or something. Like, she's so tough. And so don't count her out either. But it would be cool at least if both of them can get a camp invite. But the WNBA is in a little bit of a flux right now.
Yeah.
So, hey, if there is a lockout and they have to go to all uncontracted players to have a season, maybe Bailey Maupin and Sonata are about to be like starters on her team. That's what baseball did
That'd
one
be
year.
hype.
They just had to go get all college players, recently grads, that were like, fine, we'll pay for nothing, play for nothing, or whatever. Not saying that they should agree to that, by the way. Stand your ground. But anyway, getting off on a tangent again, but really cool. If you're talented, they will come watch you anywhere. So this is, they will find you in Lubbock, Texas. They could have gone and watched Bailey and Sonata in Waco when that game happened.
They could have.
Bailey and Sonata got their attention enough that they said, you know what, we need to go watch them against Baylor and Lubbock. And they did that. So let that be a lesson to all the recruits out there, that don't listen to all the people telling you that you can't succeed at Texas Tech, that it's not a big enough market, that no one will see you there. Absolutely not. You will get seen. You can make it to the pros. And furthermore, we're the best team in Texas right now. I mean, the other school, we haven't played them yet, but we're undefeated against the state of Texas.
We are.
That's a pretty impressive stat.
10-0. Yep.
1 over TCU, 2 over Houston, 2 over Baylor, and a bunch of other mid-majors. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get our shot at that other one, like in the Sweet 16 or something. Let us cook.
It'd be hype. I already saw Coach Chappell today already tweeting, like, recruits, like, why would you not want to end up in Lubbock, Texas? I mean, yeah, she's like,
Great
we're right there.
Taking
West
advantage of
Texas
that.
tough. Like, we're 10-0, like, all these cool things. So I mean, yeah, I think it definitely makes a statement. As Coach Gerlich said, Baylor the last 20 years has definitely had this prestige and has been this program and really standard of women's basketball, especially in the state of Texas. And now and Texas Tech used to be that, right, in the 90s and early 2000s, and now we're trying to
As
creep our way
Gerlich
back
wanted
into
to make
that.
sure it was clear.
Yes.
I love it so much. It's like you cannot pull that rivalry out of someone. It doesn't matter how far away you get from being a player. Like, she just takes it right back.
Yes.
Beating
So
Baylor,
funny.
like me, it means something to her.
It does.
And you can see that, and I love that. For
Sweeping
her.
them for that instance. I mean, just incredible.
Tyler, I mean, we were as high on this team as probably literally anybody. We said 6th was their ceiling. We've talked about this before. But did you imagine a world we were going to sweep Baylor this year?
No. I don't think I would have imagined sweeping Baylor. I mean, yeah, maybe we would
And it
have
hasn't
gotten
happened
one
since
game off.
2003, so that's
I wasn't
fair.
even
Yeah.
born yet. I mean, that's crazy. Like,
Okay,
this is a
well,
I mean, first time in my lifetime I've witnessed that. But yeah, I mean,
You
we've
were
come
not
really-
born in 2003?
No, I was born in 2004 in September. So like the 2003-2004 season, I hadn't even witnessed Texas Tech
my
sweep Baylor twice in
God.
women's basketball. I mean, that's what's crazy about the whole thing. Like, we've come really close to beating Baylor the past several years, and I'm like, it's right there. Like, we are right there. Like, but we just haven't gotten to that. So to get over that hump, I mean, that's very
Twice.
impressive. Yeah,
Well,
twice.
we're just going to move on from the fact that you were not even on this earth in 2000. None of these players were, now that you say that.
Yeah.
Well, some of them probably
some of
were.
them,
We have
yeah,
some,
yeah, some
we
of
have,
them.
we have some
Yeah,
old players.
the
They might have been like
seniors.
one.
Yeah. One
Snow
or two
Collins
of them.
was for sure.
Right.
Old grandma on the team. A few of them, the seniors for sure. But barely. They weren't talking yet. So
Yeah.
that doesn't count. That's insane.
Crazy.
Anyway, let's show the highlights before
Yes.
I jump off a cliff. Kidding. Sarah was so good. I just go watch the press conference. I almost just put it like every clip from Sarah. She said that this game just means a lot. She said it was great to play in front of the fans. That they had an intensity to them in this. Like, she was just different in this game. She was talking. Like, I don't think I've ever seen like. So maybe I just don't notice it, but she was like talking to her teammates, like getting after
She
people. I
was.
like,
Yep.
maybe playing against her sister all week, like fired her. I don't know, but if Sarah plays like this is the potential we've always seen in her. Jada was really solid too, but Sarah was playing so good. I mean, this was just insane. Like, this is why we won by 31. Is we were just hitting tough shots, and
We
then
were.
we were also hitting them when they were leaving us wide open. When you got Bailey and Snow cooking like they were in the first half, I mean, Sarah.
Well, the second quarter, as you saw on this, I think I speak for everybody, not just in the big.
Why? What are you doing? Anyway, do you know who Bailey Maupin is? Like, I genuinely think Baylor came to this game and just thought, we have Talia Scott, that'll be enough.
Look at
Bailey
that,
after this play,
Bailey.
they don't show this. They don't show it. But Baylor called a timeout because we went up by like 16 in that moment. It was the start of our murdering them. And they called a timeout. And Bailey hits that 3 and she runs over to the crowd and is like pumping them up. After that's over, after Bailey tried to be a little tough with her and bumped into her, and Bailey didn't even notice. I'm convinced Bailey was blacked out in that moment. I don't even know if she remembered it, but that's when Bailey Maupin's playing her best, and she's doing stupid shit like that, which doesn't always happen, but you could just tell she was in the zone. She was pumping up the crowd. Girlie was pumping up the crowd. Man, it was so much fun. So much fun.
Obviously, this game, massive implications.
Look at that.
Just
Wow.
lackadaisical stuff. Our press was working in this. We were back to doing what we do. Again, we this is a better match. We can play like our type of defense really well against this team. But if you play like this against anybody, you're beating them. Well, mostly anybody. So,
Yeah.
you know what? Bring it, UConn.
There we go, Jada.
I mean, Baylor's not very big inside, so not super surprised that we mentioned Jada could have a good game in this. Sarah did. We took advantage. We were just getting really good low post position, and it was over. I mean, once again, please leave them wide open. I love this for us.
Oh, I love this play right here. Look at Snoda.
Again, we had
Buzzer beater.
we have 3 buzzer beaters in this game. We had at least 2.
We had a lot.
I mean, Hema was so good. In the first half, she had 10. I don't know if she scored like 1 or 2 in the second half. But she was constantly getting to the paint. Like, she was just cooking Bailey. Like, I don't even know if they sag off her. I don't know what they were doing, but she was getting past them. And Gerlich said after the game that they kind of knew that Hema would be able to do this because of the way that Baylor attacks ball screens. Again, our team scouts people really well this year. Like, the whole assistant staff is just great. And they always have notes like that. And so it's always intriguing to hear that. But they were like, yeah, no, we felt like Hema was going to be able to do this. It was the shooting from the outside that Gerlich was like, I'm surprised she didn't wink at me after she made that 3. But they felt like Hema would be able to get to the paint and distribute for sure. And I don't think Baylor expected that, but she was cooking it. I mean, what is this, Sarah? I mean,
Look at those post moves.
Yuting Dang is not a good defender. We talked about it, but we took advantage.
Right.
When she came in the game, I thought that's something. Buzzer beater. Sydney was great in the second half. I thought that was something we did better this game than the first game against her, is she just cooked us, but maybe we didn't know it then. It just didn't have enough tape, but I think they knew that she was not a good defender by this point in the season. And so they're like, fine, you might hit a 3, but we're just going to go score so much that they have to take you out of the game. And after they were already down big, they couldn't leave her out there too much because even if she was scoring, we were trading buckets. So they were attacking mismatches all game. Like, what is that defense? I am so confused.
They're just kind of standing there.
Yeah, Nikki Collins said after the game, we did not compete in any phase of the game today. Fair. I mean, she was honest about it. So
Yeah.
Texas Tech won every single stat category in this. I think Texas Tech won that rebounding total. We already talked about it. I don't know what it was as a team, but holding Little Paige Bugs to 3 rebounds is absurd. I just need people to know that. We actually got out-rebounded, so Nikki can't read a box score, but it's fine. Oh, wait. She didn't have one. That's right.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We got out-rebounded by 3. But, again, semantics. Dominated in every category of the game, shooting-wise. Shot at a clean 56% from the field, 38% from 3, 85% from free throw. Didn't get to the free throw line at time. Like, we didn't need to. I mean, Hema Nunez, 3 rebounds, 4 steals. Hema is coming up on some big milestones. So a couple of people on this team are. Hema Nunez is very soon will join the 500 assist club, 500 rebound club, and 200 steal club. She's like very on the edge of all those things soon. And then Jalen Bristow was 1 block away tonight from entering the top 10 for a single season at Texas Tech for blocks in a single season. And looking at the numbers, there's a world she could get up to 6, 5, maybe 4 if she goes crazy.
Oh, wow.
So she could, the bottom 3 are all kind of like right together. So she could be like in 7th place by the time we get back to Lubbock after the road trip. So a couple of players coming up on milestones. The Hema one is kind of stupid, I won't lie.
No, I mean, that's insane. I mean, I knew she was on the, I know that she was on the brink of getting the assist one because they were mentioning it tonight, but I didn't even know about all the other ones. That
I don't know if they're going to honor her for that, but the assist one is probably the one she cares about, and I think I put that in that graphic earlier in the week, so maybe that's why it's known about it, but I just put the assist one. But she's also about to very close to getting her 500th rebound and very close to getting her 200th steal.
Wow.
I think she had 4 steals tonight, so she's about 6 away from that. She probably, time they get back from that road trip, she could be there. And that just goes to show that, like, you don't have to be an elite scorer to be a great basketball player. And Hema knows her role. And she scored tonight, had 10 points, but it's everything else she does for this team that is so special. And then Sydney did her job off the bench. So nobody played poorly in this. Not a soul. Everybody had good minutes. Jalen had all 6 of her points in the second half of that. She got it going, which hopefully she can carry over into the next game. Bailey is Bailey. Danae was Danae defensively. She didn't shoot it probably like how she wants to, but I don't care. You held Talia Scott to 13 points. So bravo to you. People don't do that.
Yeah, and even Sydney Love today, leading in that assist category. I mean, I said Sydney needs to have a big game in this because obviously her injuries were limiting her the first game, and this game she was solid again. So it was good to see Sydney in there.
All that talk about Talia Scott. Y'all had to worry about Sydney Love.
Yep, that's the truth.
That Sydney, she was good. She didn't score until the second half, but I felt like in the second half, like Sydney could have taken her defender to the basket every time, but she just has a good feel for the game and it's like, okay, I'm going to go take it this time. Y'all did. I'm going to take care of this one. But I feel like that girl that was guarding her literally couldn't guard her.
Literally.
At that point. So it was just a really rough night for Baylor. They're a good basketball team, and you made them look, as Nikki Collins said, we were not a good basketball team today. They weren't. I don't think they had a great game plan, or I don't know what their game plan was. And credit to Texas Tech, though. I just think Texas Tech had a great game plan. I talked about the thing about Hema on the ball screens. Another thing that Coach Walters said pregame that I thought was interesting is, I don't know if we brought it up on the show or not. We might have talked about it. But Baylor, if you look at their stats with 13 seconds left on the shot clock, they have really poor shooting stats and they turn it over a lot if they get deep in the shot clock. And he said, I want y'all to watch tonight how many shots they do or don't make / how many times they turn it over when the shot clock gets to 13 seconds or less. And I'll be honest, I was tracking it in the first half, and then the game just got crazy. They did not make, I don't think maybe 1 or 2 in the first half with 13 seconds. They
Wow.
were just scoring in transition, or they take early shots in the shot clock, and so we clearly wanted to make them run offense, and they're just not comfortable that way. They want to go fast, and we didn't let them do that. So I'm sure Baylor will hear that and be like, I don't know. They should know that already. But if they hear him say that and they needed a little help self-scouting, maybe that'll be something they work on. But I don't know if they can at this point in the year. But just kudos to our coaches, not just the team, top to bottom roster, top to bottom. Shout out to the coaches. They were on their big one with this one. They were ready to go. And Gerlich said she told the team, everybody's saying there's an asterisk next to her first win, and there's not an asterisk anymore.
Nope.
Other than, is Baylor good at basketball? Maybe that's the asterisk that people are questioning. And I said last week, how in the world does Texas Tech get a worse seed than Baylor if they finish with a similar conference record and Texas Tech has now beaten them twice? How in the world would they do that? I don't think they can. Now we have to handle business. We have 3 games left in the regular season.
Right.
We're absolutely somehow in the conversation to win the Big 12. Don't ask the players that. I love them so much. I love all of them. That's why they're good this year. Is they'll just look at you like you're. I just stopped asking, but other people, they got to. They got jobs to do. They need a quote, but they won't give you one. They'll say the same thing every time. It's a 1-0 mindset. If we get to the end of the year, they've taken on the soccer mindset. If we get to the end of the year, and then we can play for a Big 12 championship in the final game of the year, let's go. Let's do it. That's what soccer says every single season. We don't care about Big 12 championships. We care about playing in November. And this team, despite not having played in March Madness since 2013, had that about them in the preseason to be like, yeah, we don't care about the Big 12 championship, but if we're there at the end of the year, we're going to play for it. And that feels like the motto they have. But they're going to have to go win to move on, as much as I want to keep talking about this game. I could. Y'all know I could. They're going to have to go play a team that's also in the hunt for the Big 12 title. Like, they're right behind us in the Big 12 standings. And really, we weren't getting probably talked about enough as we deserved. Now I think we will. Colorado's not getting enough pub. They've won 7 of 8, and they have big wins in that span. Over Oklahoma State, TCU, Kansas. They beat Iowa State. Like, massive, massive wins. They've worked themselves up to 46th in the net after a tough non-con kind of knocked that down. They played Louisville in the ACC really tight early in the year. And they've had big moments, but they've also dropped some games they shouldn't. But they've won 7 of 8 of the last 8 games. They're really good at home. The whole altitude factor, again, I don't know if that affects our team or if it doesn't. Again, we murdered New Mexico, so I hope that's a good sign. Didn't play great at BYU, but that didn't seem like an altitude thing, in my opinion. But they lean on that. They say that helps them. I'll just kick it over to Tyler. 19-8, we have a 52.8% chance to win. At one point, we were not favored, but maybe that flipped after the Baylor game. We were actually picked to lose this game before today. That's how good Colorado plays at home. That's how good Colorado is. It would be verging on a quad 1 win because they're 46, top 45. After they play us, win or lose, they might move into the top 45 the way it works because of strength of schedule. And we're so high. So could be a quad 1 win. You could add your 4th quad 1 win. I don't think Baylor was tonight. I don't know. Maybe Baylor was. Is Baylor in the top 25?
No, they're right outside. They're at number 28.
Because of women's basketball being stupid, you have to beat a freaking top 25 team on your home. Actually, we beat a top 15 team on our home floor, and it's not a quad 1 win. Anyway, I need to save that rant for another day. But Colorado could be. But why, Tyler? Who do they got on their team?
Yeah, Colorado, as we've talked about, they're one of those teams that just have a bunch of tall guards and tall forwards really on the team. They all score really heavily into double figures. Desiree Wooten is a 5'8" guard, averaging almost 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. She's a 35% 3-point shooter, although they don't really shoot a whole lot of 3-pointers in general. Their whole team doesn't. I think she's the only player that has had over, 60 attempts on the season, so they really don't go to the 3-point line a whole lot. But that's because they're really heavy in their front court. Jade Masagayo, we've always talked about how great she was last year. She's still great this year.
It's gotten even better.
Yes, gotten even better. She's a senior on that team as a leader, averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, and a steal a game. Ziona Walker, if the name sounds familiar, she was at Kansas State. Colorado picked her up this year. She is absolutely
We recruited her out of high school.
Yes, I do remember you saying that.
She was on one of the same visits as Bailey Maupin.
That's crazy. And I figured, and didn't, well, maybe we didn't look at her in the transfer portal, but I
We
knew
probably did.
we probably
but
did.
She was going to Kansas State.
Yeah. So
She transferred from Louisville to Kansas State and then Kansas State to
and then
Colorado.
to Colorado. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, she's a hooper. I mean, she's filling in that box score right there. She's a good little point guard for them, averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists,
Great defender.
2 steals. Yes, a really good defender at that. And then they also just go back down to their forwards again. They got a 6'4" forward in Logan Greer that's averaging 9 points a game and 5 rebounds. Kennedy Sanders is a guard. It's averaging 9 points a game. And then, again, they have 2 other forwards that can easily step in. They may not be starters, but they have been getting some good minutes. Annabelle Dutot, 9 points, 8 rebounds. She's definitely in that double-double, danger zone right there.
Defender.
Yes, really great. And then Tabitha Betson, over there as a 6'2" forward that's averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds for them, kind of going off the bench.
Fun facts about her. She joined the team in January. She played for them last year as a freshman and was really good. I mean, she might have been all Big 12 freshman team from Australia. Went home over the offseason and just didn't come back for personal reasons or whatever.
Weird.
And then I guess she got that worked out and was like, I want to play basketball again. And they're like, come on over. So she just rejoined the team in January, and she's a very good player. So I think that's also a part of their turnaround that people maybe they don't follow them closely realize is they got a really good player mid-year added to their team. They also did lose their starting point guard at the time to an injury early in the year as well. So they were going through things, but they've started to figure it out. But yeah, fun facts about her. She's a good player.
Yeah, and Colorado overall, they do have a good defense, kind of have a 80.9 efficiency rating, and then their offense is at a 104.6, so it's not necessarily the flashiest offense. As we said, they're not over there shooting threes. They're very low in that stat, 326 percentile, or if you will, or ranked number 326 in their shooting stats on the three-point line, but they do score a lot in the paint. They kind of really like to live inside, and they really go to their forwards a lot, and their guards like to drive to the basket. So it's definitely going to be one of these games where you have to be on point defensively, and you have to be able to get enough shots up to kind of compete with them. A little bit similar to Cincinnati, just they're just way better than Cincinnati, like by a country mile. But they're definitely going to be it's definitely going to be a tough environment. It's a tough place to play. I mean, it's definitely going to be a tough road game. So we have to figure out a way to respond. You can't have second quarter slip ups like you did against Oklahoma State, because that'll take you right out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure we learn from that. That's what this team is so fun to follow, to cover. Whatever is you can trust them, which is such a nice new feeling for this program is they're gonna learn from that. But that doesn't matter. Like Colorado's good, so you're gonna still have to play good. Mazagayo's just gotten so much better. Like she was good last year, she's better this year. She's been really good of late. She's a tough cover. Like it's gonna take multiple people to cover her. Jalen would be ideal if she could have a game just lengthwise. Jalen is like the person on our team that kind of looks like their entire team, right? That has that long length to her. So you're gonna need her. You're gonna need Snoda. Snoda has good length. Everyone's gonna have to show up. I do think because they don't shoot threes, there's ways in which, again, we talked about it really does play into our strengths as a defense. But they will take you off the dribble, so our help defense is going to have to be really good. That's something that Sarah talked about in the press conference, and it made me happy that she that she felt like that her focus was being a really good help defender in this against Baylor, because they didn't have a shooter that she had to guard. It'll be similar in this. She won't be guarding a shooter in this as well, so she'll be able to help. I think that plays into our strengths in a lot of ways. But they're athletes. Every time I watch them play, this is what I tell everybody, is like they're a volleyball team. If a volleyball team could all play basketball. Like, it's absurd. And they have one of our former players, JoJo Nuari, who doesn't get a lot of run, but every once in a while she'll be out there too. And they just have 6 foot or taller all over the court and like 7 foot wingspans at every position. And then there's little Zion Walker, who's still 5'11". Like, she looks like a midget next to some of these people. And I'm like, what is going on? So, and that's who Colorado recruits. They looked that way last year. They're just a little bit more skilled this year. So they're able to fight. And early on in conference play, I said, Colorado reminds me a lot of Texas Tech last year, is what I would say to people, is they were playing people close. Like they should have beaten Baylor in Waco. Should have beaten them. Just couldn't find a basket. And they were playing everybody close because their defense is so good. I could argue that Colorado has the best half-court defense
Mm-hmm.
in the conference. When you get into the half-court, they're just really, because they're so long, right? We're going to have to shoot over them and all the things. But if you can beat them in transition, you get some buckets off of them with your press, turning them over. I think that's the ideal way, is you want to find easy buckets against them. But in the half court, they're really good, and they're playing people close. They just couldn't score. And now in the back half of conference play, they've kind of found more offense. It's not from the perimeter. They only make 4 threes a game, but they do have some people that will shoot it. I'm sure we're going to test that. But it's just, man, they own the paint. And at times that's been a struggle for us, but we usually do a good job of maybe just not letting them get there. I think we do match up well because of how we play defense, but our help defense is going to have to be on point, and we got to do it without fouling, because not many teams can match us athletically across the board, especially like a Snuda. They have about 3 people that can guard Snuda. I don't say that about. Usually we go into games, I'm like, who the hell's. I say that all the time, and I'm not joking. I'm like, yeah, who the hell on this team's going to guard Snuda Collins or Jalen Bristow, right? Especially Snuda, because she's so consistent as a scorer lately. Like,
Right.
they have probably 2 or 3 people that could take on that challenge. The Durat girl, is that her name? Is that what you said her name was? I
Dutot.
can't remember. Dutot is a great defender. Like, she's an underrated defender in this league. Zana Walker was an all Big 12 defensive team player last year for Colorado. Everywhere they got good defenders. Similar teams in that way. I think they're a better defensive team than Baylor, just because they do close out better, but Baylor is better offensively, so similar. They actually have a better, in conference play, they're ranked 4th in the Big 12 in team defense. 63.7 points allowed per game, right behind Texas Tech. 62.5. So similar how you just played Baylor, who was all about defense for the most part. Colorado definitely is. They hang their hat on defense, and now they've found a little offense to go with that. So, yeah, I feel a lot better about this game now because you're coming off of a win, and you don't feel like you have like monkey on your back. But big chance, 1-0 mindset, all the things that they talk about. It's going to be a dogfight, capital W dogfight. More in a different way than the Oklahoma State one, but I think we learned from that. But you're going to have to bring the toughness, the mental toughness, the physical toughness, all the things Coach Walters and Bailey. I didn't notice she gave a wink to somebody. Did you notice that in that press conference clip? After she said mental toughness,
No, I didn't notice
she
that.
looked over to the. I didn't notice that until we were just watching it. I bet Coach Walters might have been in there. They all come in together. There's always a bunch of people in there. Maybe it was one of the other coaches she was winking at. But clearly that was a big point of emphasis coming into Baylor. You're going to need physical and mental toughness to beat Colorado, but you can absolutely beat them for sure. Again, there's no one this team can't beat. But it is an interesting matchup, so it's going to. Wouldn't be shocked if some blood is drawn in this game, and I don't mean like in a fight way. Just elbows will be everywhere because the limbs in this game. Just arms everywhere for both teams.
Literally,
it's going to be insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be an insane, super athletic game, but. Yeah, it's also going to be a late one, too, for us. I mean, the game's going to be at 8 o'clock our time, so it's going to be
after a long day
game
of
basketball. Yeah, after a long day of softball. So y'all tune in on ESPN+. Plus. Hopefully we get a huge
For this
dub
team,
in Colorado.
I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's insane.
This team, I will watch them at 2 a.m. Squeeze the orange. We have reached that point in the season. Squeezing the orange for this team. I'll do what I can.
We technically did try to watch them at 2 a.m. when they were in Germany, so we have done crazy things.
We
before.
did do that.
Yes.
See, we've been here
We have
since
been
the
here.
beginning. Don't anyone try
We
to tell
remember.
us we joined the bandwagon late. We were trying to tell y'all this team was good when they're beating up on Lithuania or whoever it was, and y'all were like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "Nah, y'all need to listen.
Yep.
This team has something." We knew. No, man, I love this team so much. I hate that they did say this was maybe the second to last home game, but there is a world they could host, but they probably do need to win out. I think if you win the Big 12, you're going to host. They're not going to keep a Power Conference team champion, but it's close. You're going to need a little help, but TCU has a tough schedule to end. You and TCU both probably have the hardest schedules of the top 5-6 teams remaining, and again, Colorado, this is the thing about Colorado, they're going to be motivated. Because if they beat you, they all of a sudden are in the conversation to win the Big 12 if everything falls right. Now, they need a lot of help because they're like a game behind you, but that means they're only 2 games behind TCU and Baylor in West Virginia, right?
Right.
And they have wins over TCU. Win over TCU. Now, we're the only team that has wins over everybody at the top, which is a crazy stat, by the way. Give us the 1 seed.
I know.
But anyway, they're going to be motivated to get it done. So I'm excited to watch them play. So milk it. I'd love to have more home games than Senior Day. But by the way, buy your freaking tickets for Senior Day. I know a lot of people were planning to go to the Iowa State men's game. We'll talk about in a minute. Maybe you'll change your minds on that. But if not, enjoy it. But I already know one person that, shout out Jeremy. I hope he's still doing this. And this was before Toppin got hurt, so we'll get in a minute. Like a month ago, he said, is Senior Day for Texas Tech against Arizona State? I was like, yeah, I assume so, but I'll double check for you. Why? He said, I want to sell my Iowa State tickets and buy a plane ticket with that money to go to Lubbock to watch this senior class play. Like, he was on board a long time ago. Jeremy on Twitter, y'all have seen him. He's a big supporter. And I was like, yeah, let me ask the team. So I asked him, like, yeah, that's going to be Senior Day. So he did this like a month ago. But maybe more people will stick around in Lubbock to celebrate this team. But that's a week and a half from now. But that's the next time you'll see him in person. So I'll end my Lady Raider talk with that.
How cool would that be? Getting to maybe play for a Big 12 championship on
Can
your
you
home floor?
I mean, anything is
there
possible.
better be a lot of
There
fans
is no
there.
ceiling, as Bailey
No
Maupin said.
ceiling.
From here it's possible. I mean, sometimes they've already been done special things, but that would be pretty
It'd be hype.
pretty magical.
Somebody take
Couldn't
out
take it from
TCU,
them.
please.
Iowa State or Baylor.
Yeah.
Maybe we taught Baylor how to play good basketball tonight, and they'll take that down to Fort Worth. That's who they play next this weekend, I think. So maybe they were too busy preparing for TCU and overlooking us.
Maybe.
I don't know, but just figure it out. But Iowa State's probably the best chance because they got Addie Brown back. They're a juggernaut once again, and TCU's got to face them. So we'll see. Never say never. Men's basketball. Just prayers to JT Toppin. I hate that if y'all missed the news somehow. Good for you that you have avoided that news, but I hate to break it to you. If so, JT Toppin is out for the year with a torn ACL suffered against Arizona State on the road in a game that the team lost as well, so it was a double whammy. But I think everyone cared more about JT Toppin's health the next day than the loss, and sure enough, what was feared became true. There was some hope maybe he got it out of there without a torn ACL, but yeah, he didn't, and I hate that for him. I hope he finds peace and comfort in all this, because it's one thing to lose your season, but sometimes when you're that star player, they feel like it's on them, and they feel like they did something wrong, and they've ruined the season for their teammates, and I just hope he doesn't feel that way, because you can't control this stuff in life, but it's also important to remember that he's 20 or 21 years old, and it can feel that way when you're that age. So hopefully he has the right people around him, and his teammates will surround him with love and all that on the human level. On the basketball level, the truth of the matter is just JT Toppin is not the entire team, but he absolutely is the focal point of this team's offense. And as a basketball nerd, I actually am very intrigued, because Grant's a great coach. Their whole coaching staff is great, to see how we pivot. Because if you watch us play offense, what makes this so hard to guard is Toppin is top of the key ball screening, double ball screening mostly with Christian Anderson. They do one screen, they do a second screen, and then they have to choose. Do you guard the roll to Toppin? If you don't, he's getting the ball. He's going to make that floater that he never misses. If you pick up him, do you stop Christian Anderson by the guy coming over from the corner? If you do that, well, then Donovan Atwell's in the corner. He's going to drill a three. That's our entire offense, and it sounds simple, but it's impossible to guard, right, if we just hit shots. You can't just put somebody else in that spot. No one's going to respect anybody the way they respect JT Toppin. So our entire offense, in a way, is going to have to change. They might do some actions still, but it's going to have to be more team stuff. Grant's a magician, so I won't count him out. But obviously this does hurt our ceiling quite a bit, because he's a National Player of the Year candidate. So it's tough. They at least maybe have a get-right game against K-State, but they murdered Baylor first game with a new coach. But everybody show up and show out for this team on Saturday. Show them the love and maybe help them kind of get through it, because it's tough when you lose a teammate like that mid-year. He's alive. That made sound really morbid. He's still there. He's alive, but from a basketball standpoint, he's not going to be on the court with them anymore, and that can be tough. So go and show them the sport, and maybe they get them through a game. And if they could just win one game, and then maybe could get on a roll. But I hate it. It's tough. Basketball sports suck. Ban ACLs.
Yeah, no, literally. I mean, just tough news to hear. And I mean, it is going to be interesting to kind of see, you know, how we go about the rest of the season. You know, you maybe are going to be able to get that rebounding aspect that you lost out of Luke, but, you know, you really have to find someone that's going to be able to score for you as well, because Luke hasn't necessarily been offering that in game. So, you know, someone's going to have to step up for this team and be that double-digit scorer, that extra part that we need. The bench is going to have to be huge in this, and yeah, you're just going to have to grind it out the next few games and just that's what you're going to have to do, right? You're going to have to find a new way to win games, find a new way to, you know, try to be a dangerous team come March, which is approaching in like less than 2 weeks. So I'm really interested to see, or really like a week, but I'm really interested to kind of see how this Tech team is going to go through this adversity and really try to, you know, figure some things out, because, you know, there was even a moment last night where we almost even won the game, but, you know, missed free throw. Yeah, should have won the game. And then, you know, it even came down to just simple things like missed free throws, which has kind of been a struggle all season. It was getting better, and then, you know, you do that again last night, and then it's like, boom, you dropped a game. So it just really was unfortunate, because, you know, you came off of such a big win against number 1 Arizona, and then you go into this trap game in Tempe, Arizona, and they just have not. The Sun Devils, the reason why they're called Sun Devils, they have not been nice to us in any sport, really. Except for soccer.
That's true.
Yeah.
And softball.
Yes.
But even they gave us some games. Kenzie Brown.
She did.
Yeah, it's tough. But this is the fun of sports. Adversity sucks, but it's also an opportunity. And it's an opportunity for this team. The pressure is off a little bit, if I'm being honest. They've carried a lot of pressure with them. Now people are going to be counting them out. You have individuals on this team that people are counting out and saying, you're not going to be as good without JT Toppin there to pass the ball. People are like, is C4 really good? If he doesn't have JT Toppin as a partner in crime, Christian Anderson's a really good basketball player. He tore it up in the Euro World Cup or whatever for Germany without JT Toppin. He just needs to remember that. And I think he knows that. And I think when it's not mid-game trying to be rattled the way he was in this one, you're going to see more of a Christian Anderson-centric offense. Are you going to need Lawan Watts to be what they brought him here to be? It's time to buck up and take on that role. I think you're going to see more Leon Horner, and I think Josiah Mosley is about to become an important piece on this team and need to get more minutes and need to get up to speed on the defensive end. I think the defense is what's been keeping him from playing more at times, but they're going to have to figure that out because he's a big, and we're going to need it. I mean, maybe Nolan Groves gets a role. Like, everybody is going to have to play now. And, you know, Grant McCaslin's done some pretty miraculous stuff. I mean, he won the whole NIT with that North Texas team, beating multiple power conference teams with a team that didn't really have a big, right? They had some guys in there that were scrappy, but right. I think he had some injury issues that year, if I remember right, or something. And they were just going through it. Like, he knows how to get a team to buy in. And so I think this is a big opportunity to kind of show what sports are about and to rise up and see where it takes you. So I'm excited for him. It's tough for him. I hate it. Anybody that's ever played sports has been in moments like this, whether it was yourself or a teammate, and it's not easy. So give them some grace, but they're already back to work back in Lubbock, I'm sure. And I really am genuinely, from just a sports fan and a nerd perspective, because I know this coaching staff is so smart and good, to see what they come up with this new group and how quickly they can get it to implement. And maybe a little doubting will do this team some good. Get that street dog mentality that's kind of been missing all year from this team. They've been front runners, and that comes with a little bit of a different personality. You're not the front runners anymore. You're underdogs now. As far as, maybe not in this game, you shouldn't be. But there's a lot of teams that are looking at Texas Tech and saying, I think we could beat them now.
Right. It'll be, yeah, we'll have to get after it.
1:30 on Saturday. Be there or watch it online. Support the squad. See where it takes them. We'll wrap this up. Just really, we don't have like a huge preview of softball because I don't know what these teams have done. It's early in the season, but they're playing in the prestigious Mary Nutter. It's on Flow Sports if you'd like to watch it. Again, I think it's like $20 for the month. Get you all 6 games. They will start, as you're watching this today, Thursday at 5:30 against Fresno State. And then that night, which won't count in the standings, but probably their biggest premier game. I don't know how we're going to handle it, who's going to play, who's not going to play. But they're playing Team Japan, who's the reigning Olympic champions, Thursday night at 8 on Flow College Sports. If they win that, put our team in the Olympics. Friday, they have one game, 12:30 Bethune-Cookman. Saturday, a doubleheader with Cal State Fullerton and San Diego State. They wrap up their time in California with 11 a.m. game against UC Riverside. Listen, we all know the boycott. It's a thing. People are wimps. There are big teams in this tournament. None of them wanted to play Texas Tech. It's fine. Let them not face our team. There are some good mid-majors historically mixed into that. We'll see how they do this year. That usually have some good seasons, but we'll find out if these end up being good wins for us or not down the road. If not, it's a chance to work on that situational hitting that really plagued us against Nebraska. Even if you're up by 20, like, just use it as practice. I think maybe that's what they learned in Clearwater, is they were just kind of having a lot of fun, which they should do. You should always have fun. But even in those blowouts, maybe they need to lock in and just use it as practice, and that's just what it is before they eventually will be back in Lubbock next week. So go ahead and get your tickets for that if you haven't.
Yeah.
Shade. You have shade.
Yes, you do. You now have shade at the home games. It's going to be hype. But as far as this weekend's concerned, Team Japan, obviously that's the moment to really kind of showcase, maybe make a statement, if you will. I believe it is like the actual Japan, like national team, not like anything that's like U20, U19 or any of that stuff.
In the past, when they've done this before, and in the past it's been their full team. Now they might mix in some of their players that maybe some of them can't come, but I mean, with the Olympics coming up, you'd think that it actually is like a tryout type game for them.
Yeah, for sure. So that one will be huge. And then honestly, like, Saturday's going to be tough. I'm not even going to lie. And I know that people are going to look at that and be like, well, wait, what do you mean it's going to be tough? But Cal State Fullerton, I mean, has given Nyjah troubles even whenever she was at Stanford. They actually beat them, and Nyjah had to work her way through that elimination bracket. I mean, I was talking like they lost the first game and they had to like fight their way.
They're an NCAA tournament team,
all the way through. And San Diego State last year even gave OU a lot of trouble. I don't know how they're doing this year. So Saturday is definitely going to be a really tough day. So I'm interested. I mean, that might have to be a 1-2 punch from Nyjah and KT in those games. I'm not even going to lie. You might have to do that just to make sure that you come out of this tournament unscathed, other than Team Japan. But we're going to beat Japan, so I'm not super concerned. But
to emphasize Tyler's point about Cal State Fullerton being a legit softball program, they've played a gauntlet of a schedule so far. So they're 4-6, but don't let that fool you. They have wins over number 24 Ole Miss, who was 24 at the time, and they also beat Kentucky. And then they've had close losses to number 16 Oregon, and then they lost to number 11 Stanford 7-1. But they played Oregon twice, lost close ones to them, beat Kentucky, this was on opening night. And they beat Ole Miss in the first game, and they had a lead late. It was a doubleheader late into that game, and kind of lost it late because they just didn't have enough pitching to get through a doubleheader with Ole Miss. But they almost swept Ole Miss on opening night of the softball season. So yeah, it's a great point, Tyler. They're not a team to sleep on, and it should be a good win if you can get it. San Diego State as well. Those are two typically tournament teams, and so we did the best we could with the teams that weren't afraid to play us. So they've earned my respect.
They've earned my respect as well. I mean, they've worked at it. It looks like San Diego State, they have a win against Baylor. They have a win against Kentucky as well. And they've played some 9-inning games against Oregon State. They swept them. They actually play Oklahoma on February 19th. So that'll be really interesting to kind of see how they do.
So does Cal State Fullerton.
Look at that.
So OU has a little bit of a similar schedule to us. I don't know why we didn't agree to play each other, because no one wants to play OU either.
Right.
But yeah, they're playing. Fullerton plays OU at 5:30 on the 19th.
Dang, this is actually convincing me to maybe get Flow Sports, because
I'm gonna buy it. I'll be watching. $20 for 6 games. I'll get it. I can't not watch. I'm just
right.
Someone has to. If you don't want to watch, plug. If you're a regular sports subscriber, we'll be live threading it all week. We'll be on there. If we had the good enough internet, me and Tyler would get on here and live stream some games for you, but I don't think either of us have the internet to do lives anymore. We'll work on that for the future. We need a AT&T sponsorship for the show. But, all right, guys, that's that. It's late. We're going to get this episode edited and out to you. Meta here. You're going to be watching this, as I'm saying that, on Thursday morning. Get ready for softball. Celebrate women's basketball. You got yourself a team, y'all. I don't know why you've been sleeping, but wake up if it's not too late. Support the gals. Finish out the season strong. Pack out the stadium for senior day against Arizona State. Perhaps a Big 12 title. But 1-0 mindset.
1-0.
Don't get mad at me, gals. Sorry, we're just doing our job here. Y'all don't. I'm not asking. No, I'm kidding. 1-0 mindset. Got to beat Colorado on Saturday. And then we'll be back to recap that and preview Kansas next week. All right. That's all I have. Rack 'em.
Rack 'em.